Hello friends, and welcome back to Keefe's Kitchen. This week, I didn't feel like cooking something that was a full meal, you know? I felt like doing kind of a side dish, and I decided to do something that I did not like as a kid, but now I love, which are Brussels sprouts, all right? These miniature cabbages were hated by me. They smelled funny, they looked funny, they tasted funny. I just didn't like them. But you know what? I've changed. They've grown on me. And I'll tell you why. Because roasting vegetables is the greatest thing ever. Steamed vegetables have their place, but I'm telling you, roasted vegetables are the way to go. So this week, we're going to do a very simple, relatively quick as far as roasting vegetables go, roasted Brussels sprouts. And we're gonna make a little sauce, a really kind of, not difficult. The theme of this episode is gonna be some sriracha mayo to dip these in. And you might be thinking to yourself, sounds a little weird. Well, you know what? No judgment zone. Okay, it's gonna be all right. So, let's make some Brussels sprouts. All right, my friends, first things first, take a sheet pan, place it on the very bottom rack of your oven, and preheat your oven to 450 degrees. And this will heat up the sheet pan at the same time and make it really nice and hot for searing our Brussels sprouts, which you see I have cut up into little halves. And this is just enough for me, so I don't really have an exact amount. But cut that in half and then drizzle with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And again, this, I mean, you really can't use too much olive oil in this particular case. Shake or stir to coat, and then we're going to season. So I keep it nice and light with some salt, just some flaky salt that I sprinkle over to taste. I've done this quite a bit, so I don't really have an amount, probably about a teaspoon of salt. And then a couple shakes of regular old black pepper. You could add some garlic, but if you add the garlic, add it at the end of the cooking process when there's about 3 to 5 minutes left in the oven, because otherwise it will burn and we don't want that. So once you've tossed or stirred to combine, we're going to grab our baking sheet and pour the Brussels sprouts right on top of that piping hot sheet, and I'm going to fade out and let you listen to what that sounds like. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Take some tongs and flip the Brussels sprouts cut side down. That'll get a really nice sear on the bottom. And pop them into your oven for about 18 to 20 minutes. And while that's going, I figured I would show you how to make this sriracha mayo. And I filmed the whole thing, but then I realized that the way to make it is right in the name. Sriracha and mayonnaise. 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise and a squirt or 2 of sriracha sauce. I really, you know, that's all there is to it. So, yeah, there's not, I don't really have anything else to tell you about this. Anyway, once the time is up, pull your Brussels sprouts out and you're good to go. Now you'll notice mine are pretty dark, and that's because I left them in a little bit longer. That was my mistake. I left them in about 25 minutes instead of the 18 to 20 minutes that I suggested. But you know what? That's okay, because this is a no judgment zone. Anyway, your Brussels sprouts are done. Enjoy. All right, my friends, the Brussels sprouts are done. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I let them go a little too long. I let them go about 25 minutes instead of probably about 18 to 20, and that was my mistake. They're a little too crispy. But you know what? That's okay, because we're still gonna give them a try. Let's taste. These are completely fine. These are delightful. The outside is nice and charred. The inside, nice and soft still, not dry. It's really, really good. It gets really toasty and savory, and it reminds me a little bit of I don't know, like toasted nuts or something. Like, it's got that specific, when you try it, you'll know. But yeah, I'm just gonna try one on its own without the sauce. It's nice and seasoned with the salt and the pepper and the oil. It doesn't taste burned at all. It definitely looks a lot more burned than it is. But this is really great. And if I was served this, if I made this for people and they had to eat it, I wouldn't feel bad about it at all. In fact, I'd feel pretty good. I hope you liked this. I hope that you try this. And I hope I'll see you next week for a Christmas episode. No promises about Christmas-themed food, but you never know. So, this has been Keefe's Kitchen. Be safe, and I'll see you next week.